If you're involved in an accident with an 18-wheeler, the responsibility doesn't always stop with the driver. In this video, I'll explain how trucking companies can be held liable and how it can impact your case. Hi, I'm Moises Morales. After handling hundreds of cases and seeing how little insurance companies offer injury victims, I prepare every case like it's going to trial. If you need to speak with an attorney you can trust, call me at 346-590-6665. Let's break this down. In many truck accident cases, the driver isn't the only one at fault. Thanks to a legal concept called respondeat superior, an employer can also be held responsible, especially if the driver was on the job when the accident happened. This means that if the driver was on a delivery, transporting goods, or handling business for the company when the accident happened, the trucking company itself may be legally responsible for the damages. That's important because commercial carriers often have much higher insurance coverage than individuals do. To understand if this applies, we look at the details. Was the driver on duty? Were they following a route that was assigned by the company? These are the kinds of questions that help determine if the company shares liability. When the employer is involved, it gives you a much better chance of recovering full compensation, not just for your immediate losses, but for your future medical care and the impact on your daily life. Trucking companies must follow strict safety regulations to protect their drivers and everyone else on the road. Things like regular vehicle maintenance, driver rest periods, and routine inspections aren't optional, they're the law. Unfortunately, not every company follows these rules the way they should. Some companies allow drivers to skip rest breaks. Others delay maintenance or overlook safety concerns just to keep their schedules on track. When these shortcuts lead to a crash, that's when liability becomes clear. If a truck's brakes fail due to a lack of upkeep, or if their tired driver causes a collision after being on the road too long, the company could be held accountable for those decisions. It's about responsibility. Following the rules matters, not just for the sake of compliance, but for the safety and well-being of everyone sharing the highway. Trucking companies have a duty to hire safe, qualified drivers and to provide the training and supervision needed to keep them and everyone around them safe. But sometimes, companies rush through the background checks. They might ignore warning signs in the driver's history, or they may not provide the hands-on training necessary for handling large vehicles under pressure. Oversight matters too. If a driver has been reported for reckless driving or dangerous behavior and the company fails to act, that can lead to tragic outcomes. These aren't just oversights, they're patterns of behavior that can point to company-wide negligence. When an accident happens, it's important to ask, was this preventable? Was there something the company could have done earlier to stop this from happening? The answer often tells us more than the crash report alone. Not every truck on the road is driven by a direct employee. Many are operated by independent contractors or leased drivers, but that doesn't always mean the company's off the hook. Even if the driver isn't a direct employee, trucking companies still have a lot of control. If they assign routes, provide instructions, or enforce standards, they can still be held responsible under Texas law. Lease agreements can also create responsibility. If the company owns the truck, manages schedules, or enforces safety practices, they can't fully distance themselves from what happens during a crash. And understanding these relationships is key. Just because a driver isn't on the company's payroll doesn't mean the company isn't involved. Every case needs a close look at who had control and whether safety was prioritized. So how can you protect yourself and ensure that you get the compensation you deserve? If you've been involved in a truck accident, it's important to know that you have rights and you don't have to figure this out on your own. These cases are much more complex than regular car accidents because there's a lot more parties involved and a lot more at stake. That's why working with an experienced attorney is so important. A lawyer will review everything from company policies to driver logs to accident reports to figure out exactly where the responsibility lies. And with legal support, you can build a case that truly reflects the full extent of your injuries and losses. That includes not only your medical bills and lost wages, but also future treatments, rehabilitation, and the personal toll the crash has taken on your life. You don't have to take on the trucking company, their lawyers, or their legal team by yourself. A skilled attorney levels the playing field and helps you fight for what's fair so you can focus on healing while someone else handles the fight. Truck accidents can cause more than just vehicle damage. They can affect your life in unexpected ways, but you don't have to face this alone. If you've been injured in a crash involving a commercial truck, call us at 346-590-6665. We'll take the time to walk you through your options and help you understand your path forward. Your consultation is completely free and confidential, and it could be the first step towards protecting your rights and your future. And if you found this video helpful, please be sure to subscribe and check out our next one right here.